Good morning, and thank you for joining Resilient You. On our program each week, we have guests that talk about topics of resilience to help others live improved lives.
Hi, Alicia.
Hi, Stephen. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks so much.
Oh, thanks so much for taking time for us today. On my show, Resilient You, we have guests each week that talk about topics of resilience. And I know that you are just in this place right now in life where not only are you putting such positivity out there, but as in the new play that you have out, you're a playwright, and I just saw the play the other day. The play is called
Oh, thanks for coming.
Yeah, it was wonderful. So we were so happy to be there on the first day. I didn't want to bother you, so I didn't hang out and introduce myself, but I knew we would be meeting today. So yeah, and our listeners are on Power 98.5 FM satellite radio in over 300 countries, broadcast out of New York and Manchester, United Kingdom. So we're pleased to bring this message out to everybody. Now, your play is based on your book, Tales from the Guttenberg Bible, and I just want to share with our listeners that this is something that is a number one problem that actors and athletes face today, being able to balance humility with the game, right? The game of the life of being an actor, for example. And your play does exactly that. And it's a breath of fresh air. And I just want to say thank you so much for putting it out there.
Oh, thank you, Alicia. Well, in life, we have a choice all the time. A great rabbi friend of mine said, just because you feel sad doesn't mean you have to act sad. Just because you feel angry doesn't mean you have to act angry. And my father, who passed in July, used to tell me all the time, he would say, always remember this at a certain time when you feel something you don't want to feel. The mind is a wonderful servant, a terrible master. You have to tell your mind what to do. Your brain is in charge, not your mind. And I always feel that just because I feel a certain way doesn't mean I have to act a certain way. And, a great line that a person told me one time was said that the stars are in the heavens. We humans are on Earth. And we're all doing the same thing. We're all trying to make our lives better. We're all trying to be healthier. We're all trying to make good relationships. We're all trying to make our families and our friends happy. We're all trying to make the world a better place. And that takes great strength, determination, resilience. Resilience is a very, very important word to me my whole life. You're going to get knocked down. The true sign of a champion is coming off the mat. You're going to get knocked down. I don't care if you're Mike Tyson. I don't care if you're the greatest airplane ever built. You're going to have some issues, but you've got to get back up. The old saying, success is falling down 9 times, getting up 10. That's what resilience is. It's making sure that you're like that friend of mine from Massapequa, Joey Papalato, would always say, you're like one of those punching dolls, those clowns that have sand at the bottom, and they're inflated, and you can punch them and they'll go down and whoop, right back up. And that's what life is about. It's getting back up.
Yeah. Oh, you say so much. You are a true poet. And, I love all the sentiment that you said, but I have to back you up just a moment because you mentioned your father, and I know that he passed, and I'm so sorry to hear that. Our connections to family is so important, which is one of the things I'd like to ask you about. You had to take a break from your career to help your dad. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, for the last 5 years, I've been spending almost every day with my father in Arizona, and he was on dialysis and in pain most of the time. And when you sit with someone you love who's ill, and you see them start to lose their physical body, it's very, 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 very difficult. If you love them and you care to be there. And what your eyes see, you carry your eyes for the rest of your life, but they've seen certain things. Your retina, the skin over your eyes, has witnessed, and you'll carry that the rest of your life. And I spent these past 5 years with my dad. I've only worked a little bit, but he knew I was there every day, and my sister too, and my mom, and we were helping him through. And my sister called it the journey. This is this part of his journey. And to use a brute word, it sucked. It just sucked. And whoever has been through this, or whatever if you have to go through it, it will suck. And you always think you're going to get better. You know, when you break a leg, you get better. When you get a cold, you get better. When you're not well and you're not going to get better, it's very difficult to accept. And I never truly accepted it, not until he was in my arms and he passed. And my great rabbi said to me, you know, it's good that you don't accept it right away. It took me, and I still think to this day, it's only been 10 months or so, and I still don't accept that he's gone. Because it's too much of a blow to accept it right away. The brain doesn't really accept it. It takes time, which is good. So, it was a tough time.
Yeah, naturally. And, you know, my dad passed away suddenly too when I was only 27, before I was married, and before, you know, my dad was a detective, and he taught me a lot about life and people and just how to be a good person. And I know that you got a lot of that too from your dad. And so I think that, you know, in processing that, there's a lot of grief that people go through and loss, but you were able to dedicate your life and put your own life on hold, which shows a lot of strength and character. So again, you know, having the wonderful career that you had as an actor, you know, it's wonderful and inspiring to see. I know you're going to inspire so many people who may have trouble dealing with their own parents or other loved ones, passing through that journey.
So, caregivers, there are 35 million caregivers in this country. That's maybe 2 out of every 10 adults are caregivers, in one way or the other. And caregivers are singular people. You know, you don't work in a group. You really work alone. And it's very hard. It's very hard to be in that house with that person you love who's not ill, and showering them, putting their clothes on, and helping them go to the bathroom, shaving them or brushing their teeth. It sucks. It sucks to see somebody who was so strong, so able, who was helping you as a little boy put on your pajamas, and now I'm helping him put on his pajamas.
Yeah, that's true. And my husband just went through something similar with his own father. You know, and just it's so heartbreaking, you know, and again, they give us so much, and they invest in us the first 18 years of our life, right? And then now here we are at the end of their life, giving back to them. And, you know, so, but again, it's a wonderful thing that you've done. And now you're taking that, you know, that love that he gave you and all the things that you got from him, and you're putting it out into the world to give others such a blessing, the importance of keeping a good attitude and really teaching what life is really about.
Yeah. Well, listen, we're not here forever. It's really about love. Love is the most powerful force on earth. It'll beat any warship, any army. It'll beat anything. It's all about love. It'll make you do things that you never thought you could do. It'll make you achieve great heights in your life that you never could dream of. And love fills your stomach when you're hungry, and it pulses your heart and your soul when there's nothing left in you. There's a great poem my mother asked me to, but I memorized when I was 7 years old. When you're singing, there's nothing left of you except the will that says to you, hold on. When there's nothing left in you except the will that says to you, hold on. And that's really what it's about.
Wow, that is inspiring and enlightening. Let me ask you, Stephen, were you this great of a philosopher throughout your acting career when you were younger?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a friend of mine, really great friend of mine. We were standing in the hall of his apartment. He said to me years ago, he goes, "You're not a very good small talker. You get deep right away." And I'm not. I'm not a guy who's going to talk sports, and although I can, but sports or the weather or things like that. I'm a deep talker. That's where I'm at. That's what life is really about. Listen, it's important to have. My mother would always say, "Well, these are golf friends. They're not going to be your good friends. They're golf friends. As long as you play golf, you'll see them. When you stop playing golf, you're not going to see them." That's how it is with a lot of things. These are work friends. Once you leave the office, sometimes you never see those people again, but they were really good friends. And I'm a deep talker. I'm a deep thinker. And I've always been that way.
Yeah. And one of the things I noticed too is out on Instagram, you've got a great following. You post these inspirational videos. So listeners, if you're out there, please follow him on Instagram. You'll get some great wisdom and inspiration there as well. I just had to mention that too. It's like you're like a new force in the world of mental health and wellness. So
Wow, thank you.
yeah.
I hope so. I hope that, I'm just saying what I've learned over the years from people I know. And I think that social media is a wonderful, incredibly important and powerful tool to engage with other people. So I love using it to make the world a better place.
Well, we appreciate it. It's great to see, especially for those of us who followed your career and, seen all the movies that you made and the awards, everything that you've won. It's, as we progress through our life, it's nice to follow you. And, again, this play, listeners, it's right now, it's at George Street Playhouse. It's running now through June. And I think
through May 21st. And then we'll be playing, we got a lucky break, and Susan Stroman and Kate Burton had play at the Bay Street Theater in Sag Harbor, Long Island. And that, Kate got a job, so she had to go off to Europe. So we're going to do our play in August at the Bay Street Theater.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, and personally, I would love to see you take this across the country because that's how good it is. It's such a breath of fresh air. It's funny, it's heartwarming, and you leave with such a feeling of fullness and inspiration. That's the only way I can express it.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's what we need. That's what we need. We need more positivity in the world. You know, there's enough irony and there's enough sarcasm, and that can be very, very clever. But I think it's very, very important to create great vibrations and great frequency. There's plenty of people out there that aren't into sarcasm. There are plenty of people out there that aren't into the most ironic or clever wit. There are some people who just want to be fulfilled and have a few moments of bright white light. You know, not every moment has to be Noel Coward. It just doesn't. Noel Coward has his place. Very, very important to have intelligentsia. But at the same time, it's very, very important to feel good. That's really important, and we need to celebrate that more.
Yeah, that's so true. That's right. Well, I know that, you know, with all the positivity that you're putting out there, this the message of, you know, love and the importance of having that balance, it's really going to come back to you. I think that's what your current play is about, and you know, being able to also, another great thing about this project is that you're able to give people an insight into Hollywood and your journey through that, which is another thing that I have to share, because it's, you know, not every day that we get to hear the actual, you know, musings of someone's story, that we don't hear the true story of how you tell it in both your book and the play.
Oh, thank you so much. It's fun. It's you know, it's a story like Candid or Alice in Wonderland or Tom Jones, where an innocent leaves the warm and safe cave and goes out into the prairie and meets with all these interesting gatekeepers along his journey. And I was very, very lucky.
And we're fortunate. We're fortunate to for that as well. You know, let me ask you, because I don't want to take too much of your time. What do you think will come next, Stephen, after this? Do you have another project that you're working on?
You know, I do. I have a book that I'm working on, but I don't really think about the next project. I'm enjoying life. I'm looking forward to my next cup of coffee.
Oh, and that's a great way to live, right? So listeners, if you're on with us right now, you can take Stephen's advice, enjoy your days today, and I'm sure that will make your tomorrows even better.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Alicia.
Wonderful. Well, we'll wish you all the best of luck. Everyone, take advantage of this limited special opportunity. It's a unique, one-of-a-kind experience. Tales from the Guttenberg Bible, the play, and you can also get the book. You can purchase that online where books are sold. Be sure you follow Stephen on Instagram and social media. I'm sure he would love the comments. And I think as well, if people see you on the streets of New York City, they can approach you as well. I think you're receptive to that, right?
Yeah, of course. Gotta say hi.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. So Stephen, you know, break a leg on this play, I'll say, and hopefully we'll be out there to see it again before the end of the run at the George Street Playhouse.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks for being so sweet. I appreciate it, Alicia.
Wonderful. Thank you. And it's been a pleasure hearing about your own resiliency and also learning your story. You've touched me, and I know you'll touch all of our listeners.
Oh, thanks, Alicia. Thanks for that. For your wonderful support. We appreciate it. We appreciate all your Facebook, your posts, and thank you for being there for us.
No worries. Thank you. We'll talk again soon. Thanks much. Bye-bye.
Be well.
You too.